and try not to kill him too bad. Whenever a couple gets married, there's always one really lucky family and one family that's not so lucky. And I think we all know who the lucky family is. I'd like to congratulate the Kavanaughs for welcoming the lovely, intelligent Elizabeth Woodburn. My condolences to the Woodburns. You know, Mike's not that bad. It could be worse. You know, but you know the old saying, like, you can't, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. So you had to be there tonight. You have to be there tomorrow. And when I was thinking about what I might say tonight, I was like thinking, I never really chose Mike as a friend. Mike was just always sort of there. And it was a ritual. I used to go over to my friend Marky's house. He's going to be speaking tomorrow. And he'll do his best to say some nice things about Mike. But I would go over to his house, and our ritual would be, we would go down to the park at Spring and Sperry, and we would play basketball under the lights, and we'd play tennis, and then we'd come back, and like, they would be airing the West Coast basketball games on TNT, so we'd watch some NBA basketball. And then we'd have like a nightcap with some crazy ping pong courts, if you remember. You know, it would get pretty heated. So, you know, this was like the typical ritual that we had. Well, one time Mark calls me to hang out, and I go over to his house, and I pull in the driveway, and there's this Volvo there. You know, and later I would find out this is a Volvo that had a turbo engine, by the way. So sophisticated that you had to wait 60 seconds to turn the heater on in the dead of winter. But anyway, I get in there, and Mike's in there, and he gives me this real formal introduction. Hi, I'm Mike Cavanaugh. Nice to meet you, Christian. I'm going to be hanging out with you and Mark tonight.
You made that up. You totally made that up.
So I look at him and I'm like, dude, I know who you are. You know, I sit beside you in class.
I was the kid who always took your lunch money.
But anyway, you know, you know, so I looked at him and I'm like, Mike, if you're going to be hanging out with me tonight, and Mark, I got 3 questions for you. 1, do you like to play sports? 2, do you like to watch sports? And 3, do you like to lose? You know? And so Mike looks back at me and he's like, you know, he does that little shoulder thing that he does. And he's like, well, you know, I don't really watch sports. I don't really play sports. And I don't really believe in keeping score. You know, so I'm like, oh boy, this night's not going to go well. But he looks at me and he's like, well, Christian, I got 3 questions for you. Question 1. What is your political affiliation? I consider myself a Democrat, and I think Bill Clinton is doing an awesome job. Question 2. What is your favorite Sundance or independent film? I really enjoyed Reservoir Dogs by Quentin Tarantino. Mr. Pink's my favorite character. And question 3. Do you believe in an almighty God? Or in religion in general? So you kind of get the idea. We're completely polar opposites. Did we play basketball? No. Did we go to the park and play tennis? No. What did we do? We went to Blockbuster, okay? And I got a little riddle for you guys. 3 teenage boys walk into Blockbuster. What movie do they rent? Do you think they rent an Adam Sandler movie? You know, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Chris Farley, Black Sheep, Tommy Boy? No, we rent, according to Mike, the must-see movie, number 1 on AFI's top 500 list, Citizen Kane. Now, if you've ever seen Citizen Kane, you have to be kidding me. This movie is crazy. So we take it home. We're teenagers now, remember. We put it in, blah, 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 blah. Rosebud. The end. Okay? And I can't take any more of this night. I can't take it. So I curl in my sleeping bag, And I'm like, I'm just trying to fall asleep. Please just fall asleep. Do you think I can fall asleep? No. Roger Ebert over here keeps bombarding me with like psychoanalysis questions. Like, what is the true meaning of rosebud? And what's rosebud in your life? You know, I'm like 16. I'm like, oh my God. And this is where I first learned this, because I use this trick still today. I just like pretend like I'm sleeping. Like when my wife's talking to me, like just pretend like you're sleeping. Oh, shut up. But he doesn't shut up. He keeps going. And he switches over from Ebert to Aristotle and starts asking me about questions like, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a noise if nobody's there? Or if we're in a room and a chair is there but nobody's in the room, does the chair does the chair exist? You know, so he's asking me all these questions, and I just can't take it anymore. And I like just kind of freak out. I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be shitting me with all these questions. So I like freak out and I utter the words that I will utter several more 100 times through my life. Mike, don't be ridiculous. Mike, don't be ridiculous. The tree makes a noise. It weighs several thousand pounds and it's hitting the ground. The chair exists when I walk into a dining room. There's a chair, and when I leave, it doesn't just magically disappear. Please go to sleep, you freak. You know, I just like flip out. You know, like I've uttered these words now several hundred times. Like I said, the Mike, don't be ridiculous moments. And I did just make a little list to share with you guys of some other Mike, don't be ridiculous moments. I did spend a couple hours censoring them because some of them are so ridiculous they would blow your mind. But here I go. All right. Christian, I'm going to join the ROTC, then quit and get my college paid for free. Mike, don't be ridiculous. You have to be able to run a mile in order to join the ROTC. Christian, I don't know. I am pretty athletic. I have a varsity letter to prove it. Mike, don't be ridiculous. You earned that varsity letter managing the girls' high school tennis team.
It's sad but true.
Christian, I can't make it to that 10 o'clock movie. I have to help my dad look for his confused pet opossum who got lost from his cage. Mike, don't be ridiculous.
Sad but true.
That opossum escaped his captivity like the Shawshank Redemption. Christian, this guy EJ keeps calling me to hang out. I don't know why he thinks I'm gay. Mike, don't be ridiculous. He thinks you're gay because you marched in the gay parade. Christian, I made this class website to keep everyone in contact with each other. Mike, don't be ridiculous. You just want to be able to covertly stalk old high school thespians. Christian, I want you to come up to East Halls and meet my first real girlfriend. Mike, don't be ridiculous. You marched in the gay parade. Christian, I'm going to forego alcohol, irresponsibility, and graduate college in 3 years. Mike, don't be ridiculous. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. Christian, one more game of chess. I know I can beat you. Mike, don't be ridiculous. When have you ever beat me at anything?
That's true.
Christian, as a leader in student council, it is my duty to organize the class reunion. Mike, don't be ridiculous. Everyone knows you are a class secretary. Christian, now that you're engaged, did you start writing a prenuptial agreement? Mike, don't be ridiculous. Only lawyers prepare for divorce before marriage. Christian, I too am getting married. It looks like I finally have to get rid of this bachelor pad. Mike, don't be ridiculous. You have 2 cats and a Schwinn bicycle. And the last one that I got to take us to present day. Christian, for my wedding, I'm going to divide up responsibilities and have 4 best men and no groomsmen. Mike, don't be ridiculous. You have 4 groomsmen and no best men. Now, in all seriousness, though, for every Mike, don't be ridiculous moment, there's like 5 to 10. Mike, thank you. I really appreciate that moments. And you know, he wanted me just to roast him tonight, but there's many really nice things that I could say about Mike. So I would like to just toast Mike and Liz. You know, may their life have many Mike, don't be ridiculous moments, but also Mike, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Cheers.